I don't even remember what the third one was called. Oh, there's a volume control.
Oh, nice.
Down on your headpiece too, right there. So if I'm too loud, you can turn it down. Also, I have like controls over here, so like I'll start singing the Turtle song. Turtle power. Is that good? Or is that too loud?
It's good.
Is that good?
It's good.
All right. How do you sound?
Hello. I sound amazing.
You do sound. You sound extra sultry. A little bit of that green courage, which is like completely opposite of the liquid courage. This stuff just makes you go, why am I doing this?
We'll see here in a second.
Start questioning life choices like, why am I here talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2, Secret of the Ooze?
Because it's much worse.
There's much worse things that you could be doing.
It's much worse than I expected it to be before I agreed to this podcast.
Speaking of which, hello and welcome to SEQUELIBRIUM, the movie where we talk about movie sequels. And I'm going to call you guys who listen to this show sequel fans. Kind of like sycophants, because that's what you have to be to like these fucking movies that we're going to be talking about. Oh, by the way, I'll introduce myself. My name is Mike, and this is...
Hello, Mike. I'm Chad.
That's Chad. Hey. So I guess maybe we should do a little bit of a backstory as to what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be talking about movie sequels. Chad and I love movies. Actually, I love movies. Chad loves films. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I like both, but I definitely lean that way. Yeah.
I mean, one of our first early movie conversations were probably about Lost Highway.
Yep.
And how many people probably have seen that movie? I mean, literally millions. But like, you tell someone you've seen Lost Highway, and they go, "Oh, what's that? Oh, I've never heard that." But you bring up Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember watching that movie."
Yes.
Yeah, because it doesn't have a great soundtrack like fucking Lost Highway. I think that's one of the things we talked about, how awesome that Smashing Pumpkins song like was for that movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, this podcast, we're only ever going to be talking about sequels and movies that we think that deserve to be get a sequel, but didn't get one because fucking people are stupid, or we're just stupid and think movies like What's Eating Gilbert Grape probably deserved a sequel. I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but I feel like there's something unsaid in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Like, I mean, I got it. There's more to it. I want to know what happens to Gilbert and Arnie. And then there's also sequels that are like Weekend at Bernie's 2 that actually got made.
I love Weekend at Bernie's too. I'm not gonna lie.
The voodoo dancing, looking for the treasure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I lean towards Weekend at Bernie's 2, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. We are here to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2: The Secret of the Ooze. Holy shit. I'm always going to be blown away and start it out like holy shit, probably, because if you're listening to this, you like Ninja Turtles, I'm going to assume. Or you liked my old podcast, Based on High and Drunk. Or you're just a friend and you feel bad for us. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first movie, came out in 1990. This is not a Turtles podcast, so I'm not going to get into the Eastman and that other guy who was like the other creator. I can't remember what his name is. About that history. We'll talk about the original Turtles movie because it was dark as fuck and it was geared towards kids, but it's more of like an adult movie. I feel like, I remember I was a little kid in the hospital because one of my cousins was being born and my mom took me to the grocery store and bought me the comic book. I was so stoked that I had a curse word in it. And that was the thing about the movie that I thought was awesome, was that this is a kid's movie. This had, in the beginning of that movie, was the Pizza Hut. You gotta learn how to catch. You gotta learn how to throw. So obviously it was for kids, but they were cursing in it. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah. And PG.
It wasn't. It was PG.
Yeah,
it was
PG.
PG. PG was a lot cooler back in the day, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's probably where they kicked themselves in their own ass when it came to the second one.
Talk up a little bit louder.
Is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah,
I'm watching your volumes here. Don't worry about that.
No.
But what were we just saying about that?
What were we saying?
We smoked too much weed beforehand.
Too much.
We were talking about how dark it was. It was PG.
PG. I mean, one could argue that it should have been PG-13. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, that PG-13 back in 1990 was probably like a rated R today. You know, like you could only say fuck once or show boobs for like 2.5 seconds.
Right.
But like, yeah, it could have gotten a PG-13 because it was like violence. It was, I mean, violence. Okay. Were you a kid who watched cartoons and then got all like rowdy?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. My grandma wouldn't let me watch He-Man because afterwards I'd get all crazy. My cousin, the same cousin that I was at the hospital while he was being born, getting the Turtles comic, stood up at a Sizzler, yelled "Turtle Power," and kicked the table and knocked everything off. And it's like, did they take out the violence in part 2 because parents were afraid kids were going to be doing shit like that? I don't know. I mean, that's the thing that we were talking about earlier about how it had a bigger budget. And this is the thing I was thinking about is that like bigger budgets and moms ruin sequels. Because Turtles 2 could have been fucking awesome. If it was like a direct line from the first one and it was like nothing skipped a beat, it would only be better. Because like, here's the thing about sequels. Is like Iron Man 2. You were first introduced to Iron Man in the first one. And it took a while for him to get his suit. And then like the big action was at the end because you had that whole story developing. And then part 2 is just like right out the fucking gates. Here's the Iron Man suit. Here's more action, more of this, more of that. And this one Turtles 2 didn't have that at all.
Well, they did come right out the gate.
No, they did come out the gate. That is very true.
Yeah.
Very true. They did come out the gate fighting dudes in a fucking strip mall, like an underground strip mall.
Who knows?
Like it looked like one of those places that you go into Vegas and it's like all the fast food restaurants, but it was like all the shops.
Yeah.
And then there was a deli in the back with sausage hanging from it. Like it was like a fucking like Italian neighborhood and they were just being assholes like, ooh, this is what I assume what it looks like.
Yeah.
And then okay, here Leonardo or Michelangelo doesn't use his nunchucks, but he uses sausage nunchucks. That's okay. Like moms didn't give a shit. Oh, it's a food fight. It's okay. It's just a food fight.
Right.
He's not beating his brother up over the head with a wooden stick attached to a chain.
Right.
And, yeah, that was just so frustrating about Turtles 2. Like, as a kid, I was stoked when Turtles 2 came out. It had Ernie Reyes Jr., where we were just talking about earlier. Yeah. Kung Fu Kid galore. It was awesome. But then, like, when you got older, 3 comes out, and we were just saying this before we hit record. Who gives a shit at that point? I didn't care about 3 because 2 was so bad.
Yeah. How old are you again?
40. I just turned 40. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm 37. So I think there was just enough gap there because I've seen the part 3 probably as many times as I've seen part 1 and 2.
Seriously, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, that's kind of like the what's that? Like the Star Wars thing where you can tell somebody their age based on how they feel about Ewoks. Right. Yeah, that was from like How I Met Your Mother, like the Barney formula thing about it. You know, so it's like, yeah, I missed that. Like if Turtles 2 was great, I probably would have watched 3. And 3 could have sucked. And who cares, you know, because 2 was awesome. And that's the thing about sequels, you know, it's like you get that chance. You get that second chance after that first movie to like continue that greatness. It's up to you on like what you fucking do with it.
Well, that kind of leads me to the first thing I want to talk about is the puppetry.
Oh yeah,
because if not for Jim Henson's creation,
yeah, this
movie would have been complete shit.
Well, one of the things that I was reading in the IMDb trivia is that like Jim Henson's son was like pissed because they got a different director because he worked so well with the previous director and he just wanted nothing to do with the movie.
Really?
I'll have to pull that up. I'll have to maybe hit pause later and I'll pull that up and we'll read some IMDb trivia.
Yeah, the tone of this movie compared to the original, it's almost like a different movie studio picked it up.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the case.
No, it's the same. They got a different director. One of the other things in trivia that I remember is they got a different April because the first April stood up for the way the stunt team was treated, and so they're
which do you like better?
You know, honestly, I was trying to think of that when I watched it. To be honest, which April did I like better? And I'm not a diehard Turtles fan. I don't love this movie. I don't even remember any of their names other than Corey Feldman did Donatello in the first movie, which they didn't bring him back in the second one because he just got out of rehab. Yeah. And they thought it would be bad press because, again, fucking moms. But I would have to say I like the original better.
Yeah.
You know, I really liked, I mean, God, if this was a podcast about First's movies or something or whatever.
I don't think there's any question.
She was great. I mean, like really. I mean,
no. I just mean as far as the movies themselves. I actually like both Aprils about the same, I'd say.
I mean, the other April was pretty good. Like one of the things that the trivia said was that like they chose her because of they thought the original April didn't have good chemistry with the Turtles.
The original one seemed a little sluttier, if I'm being honest.
Oh, like when she gave it to Casey?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're giving it to Casey, right?
I thought, okay, that's a perfect segue into Casey, which we didn't even get into the animatronics.
Right. Yes.
Let's go back to that. They had a bigger budget, so the heads were actually able to be controlled differently. And I think the original costumes were fucking fantastic. Yeah. The heads were bigger. But I feel like the actors could see better in them maybe because one of the other things about the trivia was that they only had like a 3-inch slit in their eyes. So if you pay attention to the movie, the foot is just basically jumping into their hits. Like they're not actually fighting these guys. Yeah. They're just, you know, they might as well be fucking dance fighting with Kevin Bacon in Footloose. Yeah. There's a movie that deserved a sequel, not a remake.
The best bit of fight choreography was really Kino at the beginning of the film.
Oh, yeah, totally. Good drop on the name, by the way, remembering that. Right. Nice.
Thank you.
And if you remember, Kino is from Surf Ninjas, another movie that deserved a fucking sequel, which we can get into. I mean, yeah, we'll get into that.
I studied up. I really appreciate that.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you for putting in the effort. That's awesome. I got the trivia pulled up. This is going to be a minute here. We'll get back to that later. The Casey Jones segue back into it.
Really, wait. Rest in peace, Jim Henson, by the way, because Dinosaurs as well is one of the best
TV shows.
Of all time.
Yeah, I started watching it again. I kind of can't remember what streaming service. Hulu, I think. Yeah. But yeah, I started watching it again. It's not that bad. Not the mama. You know, it's kind of like
that's for kids.
It's kind of like Jar Jar Binks. You get past it and you see the adult side to it. They removed Casey Jones because of his ultra violence, which is from Clockwork Orange. Trivia literally said ultra violent.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, totally. And they brought in Kino, who like offered nothing to these fucking guys. Nothing other than being shocked by fucking Splinter's story about how the Turtles came around. Literally nothing. What did he do? He fucking kicked the canister out of Shredder's hand. Yeah. And then got fucking like kidnapped or whatever, fucking held hostage. And
it is funny how he didn't mean shit to the film. Yeah, he's the one that comes in at the very end and kicks it out of Shredder's hand.
Now, Kino was my favorite part because of like how great he was at karate, and it didn't look fucking staged. Right. Like, I mean, obviously it was, but like the scene where he had to take all the bells off the suit with that, like, you know, this is the way to get in. You know, listen. Oh my God, the foot. We can talk about them, but Casey Jones was fucking Like, even the cartoon, he was awesome. He was in the cartoon. Like,
Yeah. That's right.
the Casey Jones in the first one acted literally like the Casey Jones in the cartoon. Like, I never read any of the original comics, so I don't know what that's like other than what I learned from trivia that the ooze came from aliens. And that's the thing they took out too. Like, oh my God, that would have been a fucking killer arc. That oh no, the professor would have reminded people too much of Krang. No, because his name's not fucking Krang.
Right.
Then you introduce Krang in part 3. Ugh, you give me a break, man. This is why we're perfect for these movies.
Yeah.
Get so amped up about it. But I love Casey Jones in the first one. That I can't remember that actor's name, but he's in all these fucking things that I like, including Look Who's Talking 2.
Well, it's a funny thing is before the podcast, I mentioned to you that he's in the third one.
Yeah.
And I saw this
yeah.
twinkle in your eye when I said that,
Yeah,
as if you might have to get around to watching it.
Totally, because that guy's like awesome. Have you seen the Let the Right One In remake? Let Me In.
Yeah.
He's the detective. He's the inspector guy.
Really?
Yeah. What, so fucking cool. Anyway,
Wait, is it called Let Me In or Let the Right One In?
it's called Let Me In.
Okay, I
Yeah,
think I've seen Let the Right One In.
The Norwegian version.
Yeah.
You gotta watch the American version.
Okay.
It's good. It's not as good as the original. The original, oh God, dude. I watched it right after watching Twilight, and I was like, this is a better vampire love story
I'd say
than
so.
fucking Twilight.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Did Courtney agree?
This was someone else a long time ago. Yeah. What was I gonna say again? Yeah, fucking knocked me off.
I can tell.
Casey Jones. I love Casey Jones. He's great. He's awesome. He's just was such a great thing in the movie, in the first one. And they talked about having the villain for the second one being the Rat King. Like, how cool would that have been if the Rat King was in that movie? But then they were like, oh, then that would have to bring this whole other line of Baxter Stockman and the Mousers. Oh, no. God for fucking bid you write a good movie.
Right.
You know, it's like all these movies. And I'm like, you literally have 5 issues that tell the story you want to in 2 hours, or in this sake, hour and 28 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't do that. They're like, no. We have to appease. We have to make money out of this. You're going to make money. You're just not going to make a fuck ton of money.
And they could have in the long run.
I mean, honestly,
in actuality, you know, they.
Dude, look how The Room is making money. Like, you
Yeah.
may not be making money now, but eventually this is going to be a cult classic. Because it's fucking killer. I mean, it's got a 6 out of 10 on IMDb. Secret of the Ooze. Come on, people. Like, I don't get you. I'm looking up how much money it made. Okay, budget was $25 million. Guess how much opening weekend was?
$60 million.
No, 20 million. But gross, 78 million. So, I mean,
Well, it came out a year later too. Let's not
Yeah,
forget.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
like 10 months.
yeah,
right?
I mean, this is an Irish twin.
Yeah.
it was like almost like
10 to
right
12
after.
months.
Yeah. I mean, and like as far as like other things go, that the sequel just didn't have for me was the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And okay, so I told you on the way here I was listening to the soundtrack, the first one.
Yeah.
And I had the cassette growing up, so like I just love those. The I can't remember the name of the band, but it's like the Pump Up the Jam. They have a song on it. And it's fucking awesome. MC Hammer has a song on it, and it's awesome. And
On the
it's-
first one?
yeah, on the first one, it's "This Is What We Do." Go, go. One of my favorite
That's
lines
right.
in it. We burst your bubble because this is what we do. It wasn't fucking that Addams Family song. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then in this one, you get like. Okay, the fight scenes, you know, in the first one when they're at the antique store and Tatsu's like, you know, tells the foot to fight.
How could I forget?
The music was fucking awesome and intense to what's going on because like these 4 turtles have to fight this mob of teenagers.
Right.
And this other one's just like circus music with all the fights. Like it doesn't get you. I mean, literally this movie was made for kids. They said this first one was made for kids, but this one literally was made for kids.
Yeah, there's some kind of endorphin rush that happens when the opening credits start on this movie for me. And I
Oh,
think
dude,
that's
totally.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely shoot their load out within the first 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like this was a one pump chump movie. Like it starts out fucking funny because everyone in New York City's eating pizza. Like all of a sudden the turtles are the fucking spokesperson for pizza.
Yeah.
And then the fight in that mini mall, and the fucking turtles come running down the stairs, jumping into the credits. Like, it's so fucking cool. It's so cool. And then all of a sudden it's just like, it's over with. You're done. You're just totally done.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. I like how they left the cash for
Kino?
Kino.
Yeah, man. He couldn't pay for that out of his check. This is New York City.
Right.
This is New York City. Oh, yeah. That's the thing. Kino, too. Kino is like, hey, babies, what's up? And they fucking diss him, as they should. And then he scoots off on his scooter going, oh, yeah, they say maybe in your dreams or something. And he goes, yeah, well, in my dreams, maybe I'll dream of something thinner.
Right.
And then he like laughs scooting off. Fuck you, Kino.
Yeah.
Seriously, I just get so aggravated about that. There were so many other things that, see, this is the thing I don't write down. I'm like, I'm going to remember this, but I don't.
Yeah, I meant to take notes. I didn't.
Well, I mean, there's
Here
I mean, we can talk about the similarities, you know, hey, bear with us. This is episode 1, folks. We could talk about like the similarities more to 1 and 2. Like, okay, so here's a great thing about the first one that you may not know about. Sam Rockwell is in the first Turtles movie. He's one of the bad boys that's like showing these 2 guys around the foot lair. And he's like, one of the guys goes and he's like, got any cigarettes? And Sam Rockwell goes, regular or menthol? And that's like it. It's so fucking cool. But like the Foots hangout in this one's a junkyard.
Yeah, what the fuck was that they were holding Toka and Raza?
Oh, that homemade pin of
Yeah.
fucking trash. It's like, thank God we are in this junkyard to make junk fucking cages. They dumpster dive. They're frugal. They're like, we're on a budget. You know how expensive it is to live in the city?
I mean, it literally looked like something me and my friends made when I was 8 years
Oh,
old.
totally.
Just in the
It's like a
backyard.
keep out
My
sign.
dad's shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's another thing, too, is everybody knows that it's not Bebop and Rocksteady. You know, everybody wanted Bebop and Rocksteady. The dudes who created the Turtles didn't want Bebop and Rocksteady either, which I thought was weird. But Toka and Razor, the snapping turtle and the coyote guy, he looked like the fucking monster in Big Trouble in Little China. Like James Cameron was like, oh, I got this idea for you guys. You can just use this suit, save the money. And Razor was...
Yeah. I was a little disappointed. They were so stupid.
Well, because they were babies.
Right. Well, there's no reason.
Babies. You gave me babies.
There's no reason they should have been so upset that there was ooze in these donuts they were getting ready.
Yeah, like how did they even know that? That's the other thing. The fucking scientist creates this cure and doesn't even offer it to the turtles. Like, hey, you guys sick of like fighting crime? Do you want to just go back to being turtles? I mean, they're not going to take it, but at least offer it. What an asshole. Hey, I got this thing that could change your lives forever and go back to normal. Do you want it? No. So yeah, he creates it out of nowhere. And they know what's inside these donuts because that's the way that Michelangelo, right? Is that who came up with the idea? That's the way to give them to him. I can't remember. But like that was so stupid. And then all of a sudden, like, how did they figure it out too? Something like clicked and they're like, there's something in these donuts and it's not custard.
Right.
The Walmart stale donuts. Because they seriously like fold in his hands.
Yeah.
Donuts are supposed to do that.
It's a sweet moment. I mean, as far as absurdity goes, it's one of the better moments in the film, but it doesn't make any sense.
No, the absurdity in the movie is the synchronized dance after the fights in the fucking dance club. I mean, suspension of disbelief, whatever. But I want to know How many hours did you put into like, okay, guys, whenever we defeat somebody, this is what we do. Oh. But no, instead we got the ninja rap.
Yeah.
And here's a funny thing I read on the trivia. Frank Miller has credits for coming up with Go Ninja Go in that song.
Stop it.
Yeah, Frank Miller, the writer of Dark Knight Returns, Sin City, had a hand in a Vanilla Ice hit song.
Huh.
And I was thinking about this on the way over here too. If the parents were so fucking concerned about the movie for kids, why did you choose? Why did they choose Vanilla Ice to be the fucking hit song? Like, read the lyrics to Ice Ice Baby. Like, that's someone that you don't want to have in your children's movie. MC Hammer would be someone you want in a children's movie. MC Hammer had a cartoon. Did Vanilla Ice? No. He allegedly was held over a railing by Suge Knight.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
Super Shredder. You like that shit too?
Yeah, I did like that. I liked how the spikes got bigger.
Yeah, how did that happen? Did he like have like a large uniform and then he like got into it and he's like, I'm gonna fill this out. I just need to be under some rubble first. How did he get into that suit too? Because before
I need rubble and ooze.
Yeah, it's like when the Predator's healing himself in Predator 2. He needs drywall. But yeah, fucking Kevin Nash is Super Shredder, which is fucking dope. I would have liked more of him. I would have liked Leonardo not to say, Shredder, listen to reason. You're going to kill us all. And he's all, so be it.
Yeah, I was looking for a reason why Diesel had to play him, and I just couldn't do it. They could have found any other large man. I was hoping.
Who would you hope for?
I'm not sure.
Chuck Norris.
I don't know if he's big enough.
Chuck Norris couldn't play a villain. Chuck Norris couldn't play a villain because he's not a villain. No, he's not. I think the suit was pretty dope, though. To be perfectly honest, I like the whole concept of like Super Shredder from the Ooze.
Yeah, no, he looked good.
Your eyes are so bloodshot.
You know that.
Red Eye Chad.
Shit.
Don't tell anybody. We're coming for you. Don't worry. This is what I do. I put Colorado soil in my shoe every time I leave Colorado. So if I get in trouble for smoking weed, I'm like, I'm standing in Colorado. It's legal there. Everyone thinks I'm serious. I don't really do that. Like, I'm not stupid. Turtles 2, man.
Turtles 2. So I don't know if we mentioned, but Kino, he was the stuntman for Donatello.
Yeah, they liked him so much they like put him in the. That's how they replaced him with Casey Jones.
Right.
Which is still so stupid, man.
We like you so much, we're going to give you the shittiest part of the sequel.
Yeah, you're just gonna fuck everything up. Like, if they never met Kino, they probably would not be into this mess. It's almost like that Raiders of the Lost Ark didn't need Indiana Jones kind of thing.
I love how he tried just charging into April's apartment too. He's turning the doorknob, trying to get in.
Oh, I brought the pizza.
Right.
Yeah.
That you didn't order.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Then fucking Donatello's feet Raphael's feet sticking out. Yeah, no damn in this one. I lost the sign. I love that fucking first movie. I just watched it recently too. So it's like fresh in my mind.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it. I wanted to watch it again for this, but didn't. I suppose we can do one in the future. But thinking about it today, they're worlds apart, those two movies.
They're definitely. It's like what we were talking about earlier when we were first watching it. It's like the original one. You had Raphael walking around the city.
Yeah.
I mean, it was location. It's good stuff. Yeah. And this one was just like set green screen.
Right. All the way down to the lighting in that first film.
Oh, it was
And
dark.
I was thinking about it, and certain scenes would pop in my head, and it was gorgeous. And you don't get any of that in the sequel.
If you were to compare the two, film, movie, I would say the first one would be a film, and this one would be
naturally
a movie. Because of they used the way they use the lighting, and it's a prime example of what a bigger budget does to a fine piece of art. It cost you, let's say, $10 million to make the first movie, right? And the studio gives you $25 million to make the first movie. Mm-hmm. Make the next one under $10 million and pay your actors more because they did so great in the first one. But instead, they got a whole new cast of people, except for the guy who played Shredder and Tatsu. Yeah. It's like basic. And the chief of police, the one who hated April.
Yeah,
you're always up my ass, April.
I'm not even sure those things are the biggest problem with this movie. I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface
of the terribleness.
Yes.
The first one,
and I found it within the first 15 minutes too.
All right, what is it?
No. I'm just saying. I started watching it, and about 15 minutes in, I thought, this is a piece of shit movie.
100%.
I didn't realize how shitty this movie was. I loved it as a kid, though. But it holds none of that nostalgia to where, after this review, I'm not going to watch it again.
Oh, never.
Ever.
I own it on VHS as part of a collection because I've been trying to collect fun vintage original release. Not if I have a first print of Young Frankenstein, which is awesome. Nice. And those are the kind of things that I'm looking for. So if you know me, get at me, Mike__Kenobi on Instagram.
Sweet plug.
Once I have this Instagram running, I'll plug that one too. But I'll never watch this shit ever again. There's no need to. Need to. I know. I love watching shitty movies over and over and over again. But this one is kind of it does. The first one was just so good that the second one just is not worth watching numerous times over again. Iron Man 2 is not as good as Iron Man 1, but I'll watch Iron Man 2 over and over and over again. Because it's good. It's good.
I agree with that.
This one is not good at all whatsoever.
Yeah, 100%.
There's nothing like you were saying that you liked it as a kid, and that's probably because of I think maybe I was talking to someone else about this, but the reason why I liked it more as a kid was because you can see the bigger budget. It was more bright, and I didn't appreciate what the first Turtle movie had to offer after this one came out. Which
I would say if the third Turtle movie had the same puppetry as the other two, as far as Jim Henson's studio, it would have been definitely better than the second one. It's just the puppetry in that third one that holds it back because it wasn't the same. Jim Henson's Creations, or whatever the name was.
No, okay. So maybe I'll definitely go in and watch part 3 because I've never seen it.
They look
and
pretty
now
ridiculous.
I would like to see the difference for sure.
They look pretty bad, but the story itself, I feel, is
pretty good.
Pretty good. I don't know if it's pretty good, but it's fucking 100 times better than the bullshit I watched last night.
I think anything really has to be better than that. Now, let's say moms didn't put a hand into it and they got to use their swords and bows and saws and nunchucks.
The weapons they carry around everywhere.
Yeah. Also, if you noticed in the first fight scene, Donatello did not have his bow at all, but when he walked into April's house through the window, he had it on his back.
Oh, shit.
So when he's like, oh, guys, we're about to get into a fight. I probably shouldn't have this with me. Let me put this over here by this trash can. Hopefully no unsuspecting pizza delivery guy will find it.
Yeah.
That was funny, too. When they were trying to hide Keno, they wrapped him up in a sheet and then put him in a trash can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. You're not going to get out of this one, are you?
Yeah, all his skills didn't help him out.
No, not all. He didn't ninja flip out of that and was like, wah, wah, wah. Yeah. That was the fun punishments, was 10 flips, and then the camera pans over and you hear Michelangelo counting, and then it counts back over, and he's just jumping. And then he gets caught. That was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, there were moments. I'm not going to deny that there were moments.
Let's hear him.
That was it. Okay, maybe. Okay, the moments is Kino telling those girls that he'll dream up of something thinner. Michelangelo fake counting.
Michelangelo fake counting.
When he's doing the flips.
Oh, yeah, like, flip counting. 5. Yeah, right.
Yeah, the flip counting.
1,
2. Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. What is another moment that I liked? Maybe when the professor. No, nothing with the professor because he was weird. He was like getting rid of all the ooze, and then he like picks up one of the cans. He's all like, "You're the last one. I need to delay this just a few minutes longer before those gentlemen hit their mark."
Yeah,
like just get rid of it.
Yeah, there were so many moments that were just so ridiculous that it did put a big smile on my face. But
was it that fight scene in the lab when they were playing Keep Away?
It was fucking everything from him being like picking up that last canister and saying, "I guess you're the last one," or whatever the fuck he said. And then he turns and there's, I don't know, was it Shredder? Was it his sidekick?
It was his sidekick.
Right.
Oh, yeah, when Tatsu was like, "I'm taking over the foot.
Yeah.
Who challenges?" And then the Shredder's like, "I challenge." And then one of the foot guy goes, "Look at his face." Shredder fell from a building into a dump truck, a trash can, and Casey Jones fucking hits the lever. And you see Shredder's helmet crushing in that.
Yeah.
And he fucking like shoots his hand out of rubble. I mean, this literally is like 3 months later, after the first one. Where the fuck's Danny? Remember Danny?
Yeah.
That dude was that dude wore 2 different Sid Vicious shirts in that movie. I had one of them when I was 13 years old because of that movie.
So wait, are you serious? So was this 2 to 3 months? The storyline? Is that what it is?
It totally made you feel that way because their lair was discovered by the Foot, so they were hiding out in April's apartment. And then they were like, they're needing to find a new home. Shredder, I mean, how long do you think Shredder was in the fucking... Maybe it was 3 days.
I was going to say, for me, it made it seem like it was the next day. Because he was like, whatever he's saying, they took our father! whatever the fuck he said. He's breaking
exactly
shit.
What he said.
Yeah.
And then Shredder's just like, I'm just living in trash, eating banana peels for sustenance. Why didn't you get out? Oh, I don't know. I couldn't find an opening. I was waiting for a dramatic moment, and I found it. Here I am, guys. Okay, here's
what the fuck did he say anyway before Shredder came around the corner? What was that?
Oh, he was yelling about like, they destroyed our family. And that was exactly.
Oh no, he was asking about challenges.
Oh yeah.
Who wants to?
Because he's like, "Oh, Tatsu will run the Foot now."
Yeah.
And then and that's when Shredder showed up. I challenge.
Right.
Which was sad. It was a Japanese dude, or can't remember, but the guy. It was a white guy though who voiced Shredder. So it wasn't the actor who played Shredder. It was someone else who voiced him.
All right, that makes sense. It looks almost like he's stiff sometimes for some of the things he's saying.
Yeah.
So that makes complete sense.
When Shredder caught Raphael when he was trying to like get Kino to sneak into the Foot, so they can get some inside info. I was like thinking of this old Pete Holmes bit about how he's like, if you ever piss off a big angry guy, just picture him in bed trying to sleep, and then it'll make him less scary. Me. Like, I was just trying to picture Shredder. Like, what does he do when it's dinner time? Like, what is his favorite show to watch when he's eating dinner? Like, quiet, Mama's family's on.
Yeah.
I need to see what Vinton's up to this week. Leave me alone with my Salisbury steak banquet dinner. Because, they're in the dump. They can't afford anything else. Like I said, it's fucking expensive to live in New York.
Yeah, I mean, just a few things done differently would have made this movie a little bit better.
Oh, totally. Like, I mean, that's why. Okay, so there was an animated movie that came out back in like 2005 or 6. We had it playing on the TVs at work. Oh my god, I watched it so many times. It was the first movie I ever watched on an LCD TV because we had it on one of those displays.
Oh, no kidding.
Because we were like, oh, we just got this in, showing it off and shit. But like that movie acted as if Secret of the Ooze never happened. Like Leonardo goes off to Brazil and like he needs to just kind of like cool out after what happened. There's still that tension between him and Raphael. It was awesome. It was really fucking cool. Casey Jones was in it. He was dating April. Like it was like really neat. Obviously that was geared towards the fans and not necessarily kids. But I mean, the things they're doing with like Turtles nowadays is pretty cool. Like there's this whole storyline called The Last Ronin, and all the brothers are dead except for Michelangelo. And he's hunting their killers.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, like, so he's got all their weapons, and he's just, like, the final brother alive.
Huh.
And I love that it's Michelangelo, because he was always my favorite character, and he always seems to be, like, the fuck-up.
Yeah.
But yet, he's, like, they made him become the hero.
Yeah.
In it,
Yeah.
which I thought was pretty neat. But then, like, you know, I mean, we're talking about Secret of the Ooze, but then there's also, like, the sequel to the Michael Bay version, Out of the Shadows, which, you know, we could do separately. I know you've never seen those, right?
We don't have to do that one.
We
don't want to.
You've never seen it?
No, I have seen it.
Oh, you have seen it. And that's why you don't want to
exactly.
do it.
Exactly.
So you don't want to have to watch it again.
Yeah.
Well, you can listen to me talk about it.
What a piece of shit.
But
I might prefer it over Secret of the Ooze. I'll be
perfectly honest. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I actually had fun watching it. I did not like it as much as the original, which, I mean, the turtles are like 12 feet tall and shit, but I really liked that Johnny Knoxville did the voice of Leonardo. I thought that was pretty cool. He didn't do it in the sequel though. And if you ever see Shameless?
Yeah.
Mickey, whatever that guy's name is, that dude's I guess they're married now in the show. He does the voice of Michelangelo, which I thought was pretty cool too. But yeah, that's that one. That's not Secret of the Ooze. Secret of the Ooze turned out to be a total flop. And what are we at? Oh, we're at a good point to kind of change tones here. And one of the things that we're going to do is there's two things that are going to happen at the end of the episode. One, what movie did you want to do? Would you want to be a sequel that is kind of along the lines of the movie we just watched? So like a superhero movie that never got a sequel that deserved one, or like a comic book movie that never got a sequel that deserved one.
Do you have one in mind?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
What?
I've been thinking about it since we talked about doing this. And it goes along with the Teenagers with Attitude. Power Rangers, the 2016 movie. That one was so fucking rad. It was so good. It was one of those movies where it's a big build up before they get into their costumes. They just give you a little taste of it in the beginning. It was dark as fuck. Rita Repulsa, played by Elizabeth Banks, was just fucking killer. Like, she was a great Rita. The Dragonzords were, or not Dragonzords, the Megazords were like kind of weird. The lines they dropped were great. You know, like, this must be some kind of Megazord, you know, like, it was just fun. It was really fun. And then the movie ends, you know, like we said with the end of Secret Ooze, that there's never end credits back in the day. Well, the end credits to Power Rangers was a reveal of Tommy Oliver, which was the Green Ranger. And so, you know, like Power Rangers, that everyone wore the color of their Ranger.
Yeah.
And so it was just a green hoodie sitting on a chair, and they were going, Tommy Oliver. And they were calling his name, and he wasn't there. So it's like, holy shit, we're going to get the Green Ranger, because the Green Ranger was originally Rita Repulsa. And then that means we're going to get the Dragonzord and the fucking Flute Dagger, and then nothing. They talked about how they were going to do a sequel. Nothing. Canceled it. Now they're doing a reboot again.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, which I think is total fucking bullshit. The cast of the teenagers was fucking great. I love that they made Billy be autistic, and I get goosebumps every time I watch it when they do like the motivational speech about Jason being the leader of the Rangers. And
so
shit.
was it successful? Because I never saw it.
I think it was one of those movies that was successful on a release, but not in theater.
Gotcha.
But it was pretty good. It was really good. I really loved it. I've watched it several times, and it's just still such a bummer that it didn't get a sequel.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to find with the movies we do think of, is they just didn't do well at the box office.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Like, I mean, I already have one in mind for later that I'm not going to bring up that did better as a home release than it did as a box office, which is just like, again, like I said, like, you know, it still made you money. It just didn't make you a fuck ton of money. Why don't you try again, but do better next time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Power Rangers 2 could have been fucking killer, because now you have all the Rangers that we all remember and love. You had Bryan Cranston as Zordon, boom, perfect. You had Bill Hader as Alpha 5, boom, perfect. All the kids who played Jason, Kimberly, Trini, Billy, God, who was the other Ranger? I can't remember his name, but they were all fucking great. They were all great. It's gonna bug me, so I'm gonna look it up real quick. Pause. This is where I edit when I'm doing laundry. Power Rangers. The hell is that guy's name? Zach. Zach was fucking great. Like, they were all fucking great. I just so bummed. I mean, that they couldn't have continued it and made it just like so much better. Like, how cool would it have been when the fucking Dragon Zord comes out of the ocean and fucking Tommy's up there with his fucking flute.
Yeah. Yeah, that came out in 2016, you said?
Yeah, I think it was 16. Yeah, 16 or 17.
And they've already begun production on...
I think it's in post-production or pre-production. Yeah. I think it's just another one of those where they're like, we're going to reboot this, but never like do anything with it.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like, remember, we were on the dock and you were talking about the Child's Play, how they did that reveal. I mean, how long after that reveal did they finally release that Child's Play movie? Like, it was like 2-3 years later, it seemed like.
Yeah.
You know, because
the remake, is that what you're talking about?
It was not only the remake, but there was also the Curse of Chucky.
Oh yeah. Well,
because the remake was fucking garbage.
Sure, yeah. I think the third one came out in 91, maybe, and then Bride of Chucky 99.
Yeah, and then
Bride of Chucky definitely 99. The third one might have been 93. So
yeah, I don't remember the third one.
Maybe 6 years at the very least.
Yeah,
between those two.
It took a while, but like, I mean, when you have a movie with teenagers that are or adults that are supposed to be playing teenagers, every day they're getting older and older. I mean, like, dude, when fucking the last season of Stranger Things comes out, I'm not even gonna give a shit anymore. Because it's like they're gonna be all like teenagers. I mean, they all are older than they're supposed to be playing. So the only way Stranger Things season 4 or 5 or whatever it is going to be better is if it's like 10 years into the future. Because, I mean, those kids grew up fucking fast.
Right.
Yeah, you know, it's like before, it's like Modern Family. Like, before you knew it, Luke's not a kid anymore, and that fucking same dumb antics isn't adorable.
Right.
Oh, yeah, and then the other thing we're going to talk about is, should this movie be sequelized? Should it be just... Should you not waste your time? Should Denzel Washington come out and just put it out of its misery?
You know, Training Day, that needs a sequel.
That should have had a sequel. Yeah. Speaking of Denzel, I guess that works.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I feel like that movie could have gone like Training Day with Ethan Hawke and his PTSD from his day of training.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's so many... We're going to get into so many different things. Like, we're going to eventually sound like your dad during Super Bowl and his team lost, and this is what he could have done to make them win. You know, like we're some fucking Hollywood people who have pull, but this is what I would have done.
Right.
And I mean, shit, I think that would have worked. It's like, okay, I guess if we're going to talk about remakes, I'm going to talk about what I would have done with the Ghostbuster remake. Franchise that shit. Like they could have made it where Kristen Wiig was a little girl in New York and her parents were like, let's get the fuck out of here. And then took her to the East Coast or West Coast. And then paranormal shit started happening to her as an adult. She contacts the original Ghostbusters and they give her the franchise, you know, like they're just blips in the movie, but it's all about her, but it's still in that same universe.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that would have been awesome because one, you would have had your female up in front. Who wouldn't love a female Ghostbuster? I mean, I thought that shit was fucking cool. And two, you would have appeased everybody. Because everyone was like, oh, you're ruining my childhood. And it's like, keep it in the universe. And it would have been awesome. Because one of the things that Bakeman said in the first one was the franchise rights alone will make us rich. There's your connection. I mean, we've all been waiting for Ghostbusters 3 for years.
Are you excited for Afterlife?
Years. I'm so excited for Afterlife. Yes, I'm so excited. But like, you know, that's just the thing that we'll be talking about. Is just like the things that we would have done that would have like, you know, we would have liked to have seen. And I would have liked to have seen this movie sequelized. Done. One and done. We're over it. Yeah. Never watching it again.
No, I don't think so. I think I've had my ooze.
You've had your fill of ooze.
Yeah.
God, do you remember like that time when like ooze was like the cool thing, like the little canisters of ooze?
It still is, man.
I mean,
my 9-year-old.
I was gonna say like the slime thing's coming back.
Yeah, it is.
Do you remember that distinctive smell it had too in the plastic? And then like the Ghostbusters one had little toys inside of them. I think the turtle ones had little turtles too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, like don't let this movie ruin how good Turtles were. You know, like.
So should people see this movie?
No, I don't think you should see this movie at all. And if you do it, make sure you do it with friends when you're getting stoned and you're just making fun of all the bullshit.
See, I think that's key.
Yeah,
I think you need to be stoned when you watch this movie.
Yeah,
not just a little stoned.
No, just don't be like, you know, like, oh, Turtles 2, I've never seen it. I bet it's good. You know, you're not. It's not going to be good. You're not going to like it. Watch it stoned. You'll like it.
Yes. I feel like I had so much to say about it.
And you feel like there's more?
I feel like I did have so much to say about it.
Right,
now,
right.
I can only focus on the negative. Surely there was something positive about this movie.
Positive things about it. Well, we try to talk about the good moments. I would say positive things about it. It kept Turtles alive. You know, like it kept it going, even though it was bad. It's still part of that universe. Did
you get the figures when you were a kid?
I did, you know, like they did Secret of the Ooze toy line where they were movie like, so they were rubber, so the arms could bend backwards and shit, and they felt weird. They had like little circles around them to give them that more reptilian look.
Right.
Personally, I didn't like that. I thought it just kind of like took away the original toy line. Where they were just solid green. Even in the original movie, their costume, they were solid green. And this one, they had the dots too.
Yeah. Do you have any of those original figures?
Still? No, you know, not personally, like from when I was a kid. Yeah. But from my recollecting of things, I've definitely have acquired a few. In the past, I've gotten 4 with their original weapons and soft heads. Those are the ones to get. I ended up selling those and making like $150 off of them.
Nice.
Yeah. But I have one still. I ended up scoring another one, which is pretty cool. But I can't get into that line of collecting because there's so many fucking turtles. There is one line that I do want to get out of the turtle line, and it's the Universal Monsters. They did Leonardo is the Wolfman, Raphael is the alien from this island Earth, Donatello is the Phantom of the Opera. Donatello's Dracula. Dracula, Phantom of the Opera, Alien, and Werewolf. And
is that a recent release?
No, that was back from the 90s.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I ended up scoring the Werewolf Leonardo.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I got him out of a big bag of turtles I bought for like $5. It's pretty cool. His shirt glows in the dark.
Nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I remember one year at a birthday party, and I think that's all I received were Ninja Turtles.
Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah, it's like the best.
It was the best.
Yeah. I gotta think of more movies with toy lines so I can add that interest in there too.
I liked Batman Forever, but if I had to compare this to where a sequel lies in comparison to the original, it would be probably Batman and Robin. Actually,
oh yeah.
This is
George
the Batman
Clooney.
and Robin of
totally
Turtles trilogy.
It just sucks that it took them 4 movies to get to the shittiest, and it took this one.
Yeah,
because like Batman Forever was fucking great, or Batman Returns was fucking great. Batman Forever, you still had
liked it.
You still had Tim Burton as a producer. He wasn't a director. Val Kilmer was a pretty legit Batman.
See, I didn't even know Burton was a producer on that.
Yeah.
Not that makes too much of a difference.
Not really, no. But he still had his name tied to it.
Yeah.
I would say Batman Forever definitely was the worst. Or no, Batman and Robin was the worst. Yeah, you had Alicia Silverstone as Alfred's granddaughter or something.
Yeah, and I loved her at the time.
I mean,
that was my celebrity crush.
Oh, fuck
and I still knew that movie was a piece of shit.
Clueless, Crush. Remember that? Crush with fucking
The Crush.
Yeah, The Crush. Yeah. Excess Baggage with Benicio del Toro. Like she was.
Do you remember Hideaway?
Hideaway, no.
With Jeff Goldblum? Alicia Silverstone and Jeff Goldblum?
No.
Check it out.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting some movie knowledge now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she was a great Batwoman, Batgirl. But I would have loved if they would have stuck with Commissioner Gordon, because, I mean, that's the storyline, not Alfred,
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely do Batman Returns. And that's the other thing we were talking about earlier. What constitutes a sequel? Is it part 2, or is it part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5? Is it anything after 1? We definitely going to take recommendations. You can hit us up through my Instagram that I just dropped there. And
see, I think it should either be part this, part that, or
I think so too. Like if we want to do Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 one time, and then we want to do Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 another time, I think that's okay. But I don't think we should do like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We should just bounce around a lot. Break up the monotony. Like I do want to do Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. That's like one of my favorite sequels.
Yeah, I mean, I think direct sequels for now is the way to go.
Oh, for sure. Like just start doing number 2. And here's one of the things that I thought would be a fun one to do is Quantum of Solace is the only direct sequel in a James Bond movie. It's the only one that starts where the last one left off.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought that was neat. So that'd be a fun one to rewatch and like talk about the differences in the two.
There's one that I've watched multiple times in the last month, and I can't even remember the name of it now. But
James Bond?
Yeah, it's one of the last 3 to come out.
Spectrum?
Spectrum. What are the other ones?
Skyfall.
Skyfall. Might be Skyfall, man.
That's the one with the dude from
No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men, yeah.
Yeah,
He took the cyanide pill and his
Javier?
jaw was all fucked up. Yeah, Javier. Starts with a B. Yeah. So that's the only direct James Bond sequel is Quantum of Solace. So like Skyfall doesn't count. Dr. No, any of those other ones don't count. Just Quantum of Solace.
It was great, though.
Skyfall?
No, Skyfall.
Oh yeah, Skyfall is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Like it was such like a great turning point in the James Bond lore.
Do you have one you like more than that? Because I haven't seen several James Bond films.
I'll be honest, I've only watched maybe Goldfinger of the Sean Connery, but I'm like totally knowledgeable. I'm not like Beat the Geeks knowledgeable about it, but like I'm familiar enough to make Sean Connery one of my top 2 Bonds, while Daniel Craig's my first Bond. Like I just Pierce Brosnan came out when I was in high school as the next Bond, and I just didn't give a shit. You know, I didn't care. Daniel Craig definitely turned me on to James Bond for sure. So he's my number 1. I think Casino Royale is like a fucking fantastic movie.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Even better than Skyfall.
I definitely feel Skyfall's a little bit better, but I've seen Casino Royale way more.
Okay,
yeah, way more.
I was blown away.
Skyfall.
Yeah,
the first
I
time,
really was.
First time I saw it, I definitely was. First time.
I mean, it's one of those movies I put on because I was going to sleep.
Mm-hmm. and you ended up staying awake.
I watched the whole thing. And it's like, I think it's a 2.5 hour movie on top of it.
I'd recommend watching Turtles 2 next time you're trying to fall asleep.
Yeah.
You won't make it past Donatello pretending he's one of those bounce back balloons.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, there's a reason why I was skipping through the film when you came over today.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I got to get a quick watch in, so I don't think it retained that much. You don't want to ruin your soul anymore." All right. Well, how do you feel about our first episode?
I feel like I'm going to think of plenty.
Yeah.
I wish I would have said about this piece of shit.
Always hindsight. There's always hindsight, but there's always rebuttals. So we can always have like, "Hey, I'm not stoned anymore, and I remember this." Mini episodes.
Yeah.
One more thing about this we could do episodes called "One More Thing," things that we finally remember to bring up.
Hey, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, I guess I don't have any social media as this is being recorded for this, but if you want to get at me, I'm at Mike_Kenobi on Instagram. Do you have anything you want to share?
No, stay tuned.
Oh, I know. Stay tuned.
I just might.
This guy's going to have something fun. All right. Well, appreciate everyone listening. That whole rate, review, subscribe, all that shit will be awesome. Give us recommendations. And next week, what do you want to come back with the next one?
I mean, I think we should do Back to the Future Part 2.
I'm fully down with that because I just watched the first one. So, yeah, we're going to do Back to the Future Part 2. And this is us signing off.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.